of several early 70s European art films dealing with fascism. Vittorio De Sica's The Garden of the Finzi-Continis tries to indict the movement through an understated, nostalgic look at its effects on a group of Ferrara Jews. Enthusiastically received when released, the film hasn't so much dated as gone opaque. In today's environment of ultra-explicit, fast-paced action and melodramatic hyperbole, watching it is like trying to see clearly through fog. The garden of the title refers to the estate of the Finzi-Continis, a family of rich, cultivated Jews who rarely step outside the walls of their enclosure. The story takes place in a transitional moment before the Germans pressured Mussolini to adopt the infamous Nuremberg racial laws. The Jewish protagonist, Giorgio, Lino Caplicchio, is in love with Nicole, Dominic Sanda, the beautiful daughter of the Finzi-Continis. Unfortunately for Giorgio, she prefers friendship to romance. In short, the abuses of fascism are refracted through a story of unrequited love. Unlike German Jews, those in Italy still had rights, at least at the beginning. In fact, Giorgio's father, Romolo Valli, is both a fascist and a local official. That historically accurate contradiction is not a source of narrative confusion so much as an example of confused political realities. As such, it helps to explain why telling this story and getting involved with Giorgio's despair is difficult. He makes a weak protagonist. For most of the action, he can move about openly despite his background, so outrage at his political fate is muted. And because he does not have a strong motivation beyond being with Nicole, much of his wandering lacks any sense of purpose. This aimlessness is particularly apparent in the concluding sequences when the Ferrara Jews are herded together to be sent to concentration camps. Giorgio more or less disappears without explanation. When we eventually learn he has escaped elsewhere, it is confusing, because he resembles another minor character whom we have seen arrested from a distance. To judge by the murky, frankly inept filmmaking in that sequence, the otherwise fluent De Sica seems more interested in emotionally elusive characters than in narrative clarity. The most alluring of these enigmas are Nicole and her sickly brother Alberto, Helmut Berger, whose relationship is loaded with oblique hints of incest. No one is grossly negative, but in such a wispy, emotionally undeveloped environment, it is difficult to know how to react. The enervated, sumptuously cultured atmosphere of leafy shadows, sparkling sunshine, and beautiful people in white playing tennis creates an idyllic image of irretrievable loss. Cherished too much, though, this ambience practically defines decadent. In fact, it is difficult to get very involved in the fates of Giorgio and the others. At the risk of trivializing a serious film, it is almost as if we are meant to hate fascism because the Finzi-Continis lose their style. If the point is to show that history can roll over anyone, such emotional distance is unfortunate.